4 stages. That is literally all it takes to turn completely raw data into a fully working, deployed machine learning model. In this explainer, we're going to look at that entire life cycle, from start to finish. If you want to understand how an AI system actually comes to life, well, this is the complete picture, all in one place.
So here's our 4-stage pipeline: acquisition, pre-processing, modeling, and deployment. This is the single workflow that connects everything we've been covering in our recent series.
Techie here from AI Tech Hub. Let's jump right in with Phase 1, data acquisition, finding and collecting the actual data.
You know the old saying, you can't build a house without bricks, right? Well, you absolutely cannot build a model without data. So where does this data actually come from? We typically rely on 4 main sources. First, public data sets that are totally open for anyone to use. Second, pulling data via APIs and web scraping. Third, tapping into a company's internal records, which honestly is usually an absolute goldmine. And fourth, synthetic data, which we generate when real examples are just way too scarce. The golden rule here: if you get this stage wrong, fixing things downstream is practically impossible.
If you really want the specifics on this, definitely check out our Part 1 Deep Dive Explainer.
All right, moving right along to Phase 2, data pre-processing. This is all about turning that messy, raw data into something actually usable.
Okay, so this is the phase where data scientists notoriously spend like 80% of their time. It's a grind, but it's crucial. First up, cleaning. This fixes the errors and gaps in your dataset. Then we have transformation, which puts data on a usable scale and encodes categories into numbers the machine can read. Next is feature engineering. This is where you get creative, crafting new, useful signals for the model to pick up on. And finally, splitting. This sets aside real, unseen test data so we can actually honestly evaluate our model later on.
And again, we have a full Part 2 Deep Dive Explainer on all these specific refinement steps.
That brings us to Phase 3, modeling. You know, the stage everyone kind of just pictures as the whole thing.
So here's how it actually works. First, we pick an algorithm. Next, we train it on that beautifully pre-processed data we just made. Then, we spend some time tuning its settings to squeeze out the absolute best performance. And finally, we evaluate it with real metrics. And hey, just a quick note for our focused learners out there, this evaluation step, this is exactly where our previous deep dive explainers on ML metrics, precision versus recall versus F1, and ROC-AUC fit perfectly into the big picture.
To really master this phase, go check out our Part 3 explainer.
Finally, we hit Phase 4, deployment. Time to put that evaluated model to work.
Deployment is where the magic actually reaches the user. First, packaging wraps the model behind a callable wrapper so other software can actually talk to it. Second, you need the infrastructure to run it. Hugging Face's inference endpoints, fantastic real-world example of this in action. Third, we have monitoring. You've got to track the model's real-world performance after launch. And finally, maintenance. You need to keep the model working accurately as data drifts and changes over time, because it definitely will.
For all the ultimate deployment details, Part 4 is the explainer you want.
So let's just zoom back out for a second and look at the whole picture. Step 1, acquisition gets the real data. Step 2, pre-processing turns it into something usable. Step 3, modeling learns from it and evaluates it. And Step 4, deployment actually puts it to work in the real world. All 4 stages complete.
Now here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. These 4 stages are not independent projects. They are deeply, deeply interconnected. Bad acquisition, that breaks your pre-processing. Skipped pre-processing, that completely breaks your modeling. And a model that's never deployed, no matter how brilliantly it scored during Phase 3, well, it hasn't actually done anything useful for anyone yet. It's just sitting there. It is genuinely one continuous, connected pipeline.
And that, my friends, is the full ML lifecycle from start to finish. Now, if any single one of these stages is really relevant to what you're trying to learn or build right now, we've got you covered. You can jump directly to the in-depth explainer for whichever stage you need using the links for parts 1 through 4.
Also, if you're actually working on your own AI project right now, maybe for personal use or for your business, and you want a hand navigating any part of this lifecycle, we would love to help you out. Reach out to us directly at info@aitechhub.ca. And hey, be sure to comment Lifecycle below if you want the full 4-part series sent your way, and hit subscribe for more structured, focused explainers just like this one.
Before we wrap up entirely, I want to leave you with a quick thought to apply to your own work. Take a hard look at your current AI initiatives and ask yourself, which of these 4 phases is currently stalling your project? Pinpoint that bottleneck, apply what we've covered today, and get that pipeline flowing again. See you in the next one.